What's going on? My name's Will, and I'm here to talk some best ball. Just a little background on me is I got into fantasy sports in general pretty late. I was a late bloomer. Around 2020, I started doing redraft NFL fantasy. And about, I think, 2022, I got into DraftKings salary cap DFS and just kind of tinkered around a little bit with it. Um, Early 2023 or later on in 2022, I got into PGA DFS, which I really enjoyed, and I've been playing that for the last few years. But usually around this time in the year, around June, my buddy from work and I would be doing a bunch of mock drafts, and we would do them every day. We'd have an hour or two to kill at work, and we would just do a bunch of mock drafts together and try to figure out ADPs and the landscape for the upcoming NFL season. And then I heard about this best ball thing where you can essentially do mock drafts all summer, but be playing for real money. So I started getting into that. And around 2020, let's see, I think this is my third year playing best ball. I may have drafted a team or two before that, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of knew the good players were, was trying to unplug from redraft and get into the mindset of best ball where you don't have to set your lineups each week and the best scores are just accounted for automatically. And, after first year of doing it and then having that sweat throughout the season, even though I was completely destroyed in week 15 and all my teams lost, I was kind of hooked after that. So the two main places that I play, or only places really, are Underdog and DraftKings. DraftKings is the only format that I use, the only platform that I use for sportsbook and for DFS, salary cap DFS. However, Underdog, in my opinion, is superior when it comes to best ball and any kind of, even their, if you like to do the draft style DFS, they have that for all sports. Here in New York, we can't do, like I tried to do PGA earlier this year, and we're not able to do that here in New York. But as far as specifically NFL best ball, in my opinion, Underdog is superior. So we'll just jump right into it here. The first thing I want to talk about is some contests, contest selection. Let's get right into it. Okay. So right here, Best Ball Mania 7. This is their flagship contest. As you can see, $2 million to first. I generally stick to the smaller time box contests, so Best Ball Mania opens up right after the NFL draft and is open all the way until the start of the season. Whereas some of these other contests, like this is a good one right here, the Dachshund, $8 entry, 4 entry max, so $32 if you want to max it. And this will fill, let's see, 99.9%. So this will fill today. It's been open for a couple weeks. Let's see what else here. So we got Super Flex. Let's get into these other contests here. I'm going to do a different pods on these here probably later on in the summer, but the Eliminator, Weekly Winners is essentially 17-week DFS contest where you draft your team. You have one team just like in basketball, but each week the slate starts over. So it's just the highest scoring team on that particular week. And then the Eliminator is a really cool format. I have not tried this yet. I do want to get into it this summer. $10 entry, 150 max, and it's 5 of 10 or 6 of 12 advance. 50% advance from 6 of 12 advance from week 1, and then it's a head-to-head each week until the final. So really cool format. I'm going to try that. But today what we're discussing is just the regular, the Best Ball Mania style only for, we're going to do right here, the Puppy 2. This is a smaller, same kind of deal, similar to, same style as Best Ball Mania, only it's a $5 entry and still 150 max. Right here, you got 2 of 12 and then 1 of 10, 1 of 5, 750 seat final for week 17. So the biggest thing with Best Ball for me was just unplugging from redraft and even from salary cap DFS and just drafting the best team. And you have to advance out of your pods, obviously, but you also want to optimize for weeks 15, 16, and 17 because that's when all the money is. So let's go. Let's start here first with. Okay, let's get into one thing I want to do too is right now I'm only in 3 slow drafts, but I like doing the slow drafts because it's something that keeps me engaged throughout the summer. I'll be at work and it'll say like, oh, you're on the clock. And I open my phone up and it gives you time to really, construct your team. So what I'd like to do is on one of my next recordings is get into a few more slows. And then when I start recording, before I do a draft, which is what we're going to do here in a few minutes, a fast draft where it's 20 seconds per pick, I'd like to kind of go through when I'm on the clock and some of these slows, kind of go through and discuss my team and what pick I have going on there. So let's see. So what do we got cooking on this squad here? I'm just going to open up the draft board. So that's another thing when I'm doing fast drafts. So I'm probably going to do the 2 monitor thing here soon now that I'm streaming these. But what I've been doing up to this point is I will have usually just the draft board open up on my main screen. And then I tend to just do on my phone. I pick the selections on my phone just because I actually like the way mobile works as far as this. So it's easy to navigate. And but I like having the 2 screens. Now that I'm streaming this, I'll probably just get another monitor. But I like to always have the draft board up, and I just kind of, see what the room's doing. One of the best pieces of advice I've gotten with Best Ball is to let the draft come to you, meaning you might go in and say, okay, I want to get some James Cook. And then you wind up at the 101 or 102, and like you're not going to take James Cook there. You can, but he's not going to, these guys, Bijan and Gibbs, are going to outproject Cook by a ton, and you only can get those guys so often. So point being is that what the draft gives you, for example, if you're in the second round here, you're picking at the 204. You got Puka Nacua and Saquon Barkley drops to you. Then you got good ADP value there. You want to take Saquon. And you don't want to go in and say, I'm taking Puka and London, and then I'm going 0 RB, and then you get a good ADP value running back faller, and you pass on it because you're in this mindset. You go into the draft with a mindset of what you want to do. So you really want to let the draft come to you and kind of dictate, at least in these early rounds. You don't want to get too cute. Occasionally, once in a while with certain contests, I will pull up a player, say in like last year, this one guy was Puka Nacua was going at the 1-2 turn, and he pulled him up to the 101 to get unique pairing combos because like we talked about, those playoff weeks, 15, 16, and 17 are really all that matter. And that's where all the money is won. So if you show up and you have a, just say, say if you did pull up James Cook, like James Cook with Nico and McBride or something along those lines, the guys that are going on the other side of the board, that's a very unique combo and no one else is going to have that. So much like a DFS DraftKings tournament, you want low ownership on the players that you have because when they go off, not many other people are going to have them or definitely not have those combos. So let's see what we did here in this draft. Amon-Ra. This is actually my first and only St. Brown share. It's just I'm still at the point in the offseason where I haven't even had every draft position yet. So let me just backtrack real quick, I guess. So last year I hit 100 drafts. That's the most I've ever done. And as you can see, I don't even have a badge yet here on Underdog. I'm new to this, and I'm just trying to get better, hopefully connect with some people out there, share strategies. If you're brand new to this, hopefully I have some insight I can share. And so this year, I don't really have a specific goal of how many drafts per se, but I do want to get better. I use the Establish the Run rankings, best in the biz, in my opinion. I mean, the 2 Milli Maker winners from last year from Underdog and DraftKings both used the Establish the Run ranks. So, but yeah, anyways, I have not even got, in the beginning of the draft season here, I had this draft spot 3 and 4 over and over again. So I had a ton of Puka, JSN. I think Bijan fell to me once, some Chase, and I just kind of had that draft spot over and over again. Now lately I've been getting a lot of 11 and 12 spots. I got my first 101 the other day. So these kind of middle spots here, 6, 7, 8, I haven't had those too much yet. And so yeah, this was my first Amon-Ra St. Brown share. Took Amon-Ra, Walker, Devontae Smith, Javonte Williams, Tootin, Watson Kraft, Quentin Johnston. Now, this pick here is pretty much, unless somebody sniped them. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Jordan Love is here. I'm going to take Jordan Love here. I've been trying to get this double stack going a couple different times and gotten sniped each time. Tucker Kraft, Christian Watson. And I do think that as far as week 17 games go, the Green Bay Texans game is on Monday night, which is the last game of the week. And generally, when it comes down, I haven't made a week 17 yet, but when it comes down to week 17 final, that game on Monday night generally has a player or two that you're going to need that go off. So let's see. He is ADP 110. And okay, let me just see. And this is another contest too, the puppy, where there's you really just need to hit the nuts. But just getting to week 17 is so difficult. Last year I made it. My first year I had teams advance to week 15 and was completely wiped out. Last year I advanced out of week 15, so I won my week 15 pod in the puppy or puppy 2 or one of those, and made it to week 16. And then I actually had a pretty decent game stack for week 16 with the San Francisco Indianapolis game. Purdy, McCaffrey, I think Kittle. I had Purdy, McCaffrey, Kittle, Pittman, and then DJ Giddens, who was a stone zero the whole season. But nonetheless, those players all went off. Pittman didn't do anything either, but as far as San Francisco, they went off. And the one thing I've learned about the playoffs last year is like just ceiling. I mean, Kyle Pitts and Trevor Lawrence went off in, I believe, weeks 15 and 16. I mean, that was Kyle Pitts' legendary game where he put up, 45, 50, whatever points. And Trevor Lawrence had a couple really good weeks too. So, but the year before that, it was a game stack that advanced out of my pod that it was actually a San Francisco game also, where 4 or 5 players from San Francisco all went off, and the guy in first had all of them. So you want to target certain games in those playoff weeks, because if that's the game that goes off, if that's an 80-point game, then you're going to need pieces from that game. And whether it's game stacking or team stacking, it's just less things you have to get right. And another takeaway from last year was that was a team correlation with our team stacking without necessarily having the quarterback. So when you stack, it's generally quarterback and a pass catcher, or you can tack the running back on as well. But last year, perfect example is the Arizona Cardinals when Trey McBride and Michael Wilson had a legendary run there for a while. That was with Jacoby Brissett. Kyler Murray was out for the majority of the year, and Arizona was just throwing at an insane rate. And those two went nuts. I think I had a team or two that had both of them. Michael Wilson was going super late in drafts, and I was tacking him on there for a while, and then I kind of let the other takes from other content in the industry kind of get to me, where people were kind of, saying that he wasn't going to do anything and this and that. And I kind of let it get in my head, and I didn't draft him as much as I would have. But, Marv was out for a lot of the season. He wasn't doing anything anyways. And then just McBride and Michael Wilson were getting peppered. And nobody drafted Jacoby Brissett, obviously. So if you just had those two, or like right here, I had some other teams too with this exact stack where it's Christian Watson and Tucker Kraft, and I don't have Jordan Love. That's perfectly fine as well. You're just betting on Green Bay. And I like to stack teams that I can, like offenses that I can get cheap. So the first one that comes to mind would be right now, like Tampa Bay. Maybe you take Igbuka or Godwin as your first pick from Tampa, and then later on in the draft, so real quick here, I'm going to take Jordan Love here. I'm going to get this double stack. Okay, so I just clicked it on my phone. I not 100% sure how to do this on desktop yet, but that's okay. Bear with me. We're just starting out here. But as you can see, I did take Jordan Love there, so I got the Love, Kraft, Watson stack. Okay, so now real quick before we jump into a draft, go to completed. I'll just share a couple of my teams with you guys real quick. This contest right here was pretty sweet. The Hound Dog, $6 entry, 5 entry max, and it has. I have not seen an advancement structure like this yet. I think it's pretty cool. So it's 4 of 12 in your initial pod. So a third of the pod moves on to the playoffs, and then 2 of 5 with a fairly larger Week 17 finals of 992. But I like this contest because, like I was saying, I haven't even made it to a Week 17 yet, and this contest is set up nicely to get to the finals with a $20K first place payout, $10K to second. So great contest. I maxed this one. Okay, so right here, back to Tampa Bay. So as you can see in this draft, it's in the 12 hole. This is one where I actually pulled up Nico. I knew this. I was talking about pulling players up before, and I knew this contest was about to close. And I had the 12 spot with James Cook there. And Nico is generally always going at the 2-3 turn right around here, where between Bowers to Pickens area, or A.J. Brown to Pickens, somewhere in there, right at the end of the second round. So very rarely, if ever, is Nico paired with James Cook. So that was one thing I did here. And then after, when you do something like that, you want to kind of stick to ADP for the next few picks. Like Jacobs has been going at the end of the third. Igbuka I didn't have much of yet, but I kind of had this idea of all the other players on Tampa Bay are so cheap. So I grabbed Igbuka here. And then this is another Green Bay stack. Apparently I've been stacking Green Bay quite a bit. I got my first Tyson share. So there, yeah, here's the other team with Watson Kraft with no Jordan Love. But as you can see, I take Igbuka in the 4th round, okay? Then right here, my first quarterback, 10th round, Baker Mayfield, okay? On the way back, I get Stroud, Coker, Checo. Now, 15th round, Sean Tucker, who I think is a great pick that late in drafts, especially with all the who knows what's going on right now with Bucky Irving. I'm interested in getting some Kenny Gainwell, which I haven't yet. But, I mean, and then K-Dot. So, I mean, this late in drafts, so you're talking 2, 3, 4, 2 of my last 4 picks in the draft. And then, 10th round Baker Mayfield. So at those prices, first off, these guys don't even have to do that much to pay off their draft price. But secondly, if they're even half of what the Tampa Bay offense used to be, then they're going to absolutely smash at that pick. And I'm not, even if they miss, it's not killing my team because I took them so late. I'm not paying high prices for them. So that's just one example there. Okay, so I think, yeah, let's hop into a draft. So you'll have to bear with me here. This is my first time streaming one, and let's see. So I'm still gonna click the picks on my phone, but I'll keep the draft board open. I'll go over the ADPs and all that as best as I can share it here on the screen with you guys. So all right, we're gonna hop into a puppy, and the puppy is. So I mean. I've never won 50 max one of these contests yet. I personally do not have the bankroll to 150 max Best Ball Mania, $25 entry per. So I like to take shots on these smaller contests, and $5 entry, still 100K to first, 50K to second. You get in the top 10 at minimum 10K payout. So I like to take my shots here. And all right, we're going to enter the puppy too. Already on the second one. The first one filled pretty quick. Let's see what draft spot we get here. Waiting for 10 people. This one might take a minute. So another thing I haven't gotten yet, but I do want to try the Solver. It's a draft assistant from Establish the Run that helps helps you see your correlation, your exposure that you have for certain guys. And so right now I just have another tab open with the week 17 games because I don't want to put too much stock into the week 17 game correlations. However, it's a good tiebreaker, and it's helpful for me to just see what those games are, especially the ones that are in domes, late in the year when it's freezing outside and high scoring games. But I really want to get this Solver soon, and that's just pops right up week 17 correlation. There's a slider where you can increase the importance of it. So the next pick that it's going to recommend maybe week 17 correlated might be a bigger deal for that pick. So, okay, waiting for 2 more. I don't think there's really necessarily a bad draft position yet, or one that I really dislike. What do we got? 4 spot. Okay. 4 hole. Haven't had that in a while, but like I said earlier in the season, I had the 3-4 spot every time almost. So here I'm more than likely going Chase or Puka? Okay. So, I mean, Gibbs or Bijan, neither of them are falling to the 4 spot. You can get Bijan once in a while to fall to the 3rd, but they're not falling to the 4. So, either one of these guys here. So, another thing too is you want to toggle back and forth later in the draft, especially between ADP and my ranks. So, I uploaded the ETR ranks and, okay. So let's see. Chase goes. I'm going to take some JSN. A little lighter on JSN than Puka, I believe. Haven't even checked my exposures yet. It's getting to the time of the year where maybe I'll start peaking, but still early. A lot of time left. All right. So now I kind of, especially in the first round, beginning of the second, I just want to get somewhat of a feel for what the room is doing. Okay, so Lamb and Jefferson. Wow, okay. So this is clearly heavy wide receiver room. Generally, these picks here with Lamb and Jefferson, that's generally where CMC, Jonathan Taylor are going. Wow, Drake London gets pulled up here. All right, this draft is getting nutty. So this is the perfect draft to where more than likely there's going to be an ADP faller here in the second round. Get some kind of value because people are pulling up guys like London, and I think that's really the only crazy move. And another thing here, so I'm picking at my next 2 picks are 21 and 28. So what I want to do is kind of just look and see which players are at that ADP and start preparing for my next picks ahead of time. So here, so we're going to have a faller because we got Kenneth Walker and Derrick Henry, ADPs 16 and 17. Okay, Walker goes. So this is an easy pick right here. Derrick Henry, ranked 13, ADP of 17 at 21. I mean, that's a smash. Selected on my phone. I gotta get used to doing this on desktop. So that's great value right there. Unique pairing too. It's got to be, as you can see, ADP 17.1, pick 21 with JSN. Solid start right there. So here, so if we sort by ADP, we are picking 28. I don't mind McBride here, but I think I want to go Devontae Smith. Yeah. So, okay, we took Devontae. So I took him at pick 28, ADP 30. That's not going to last. I mean, I've been baking in this whole summer up to this point, this whole offseason, the A.J. Brown trade. And Devontae Smith, I knew A.J. Brown's going to run. Actually, here he goes 22, so still end of the second. That's kind of surprising. I expect him to move up more mid, early second fairly soon here. And I expect Devontae Smith to rise as well, which is the thing that we knew was going to happen this whole time. But now that it's finally happened, these just year after year, when the news finally breaks that these guys are traded or that, something that we knew was going to happen, they go to a new team, their ADP still rises every time. So I expect that over the next couple of weeks. A.J. Brown, for sure, going to take a big leap. And then Devontae Smith, I could see him getting into the end, definitely right at the 2-3 turn. I don't know about ahead of Nico and Pickens, but maybe Olave, Breece Hall, right around that area. So this build may be setting up. Let's see what. Maybe setting up for a hero RB build. 45-52. Some wide receivers at that. We'll see. This is a point in the draft where we're gonna see what we get, what the draft room is giving us here. See if we can get some more good value, and not get too locked into any one specific strategy. I mean, normally I'm probably taking McBride there, but it seems like he's fallen further and further each draft. So probably, okay. Yeah, Burden goes. So here I'm going to take Terry McLaurin. So this is a good move here, taking Devontae Smith and Terry McLaurin. That's going to set me up for a round 6, either Jaden Daniels if he falls or Jalen Hurts. Jaden Daniels, he could drop a couple spots. ADP 66. Okay, let's make this next pick here, and then we'll discuss that a little more. 52. So if Devontae Adams is there, I think Devontae is a smash. And he is. Okay. 53. J-Mo, Devontae. I got to go Devontae there. Good players on good teams in this draft so far. I'm liking it. All right, so yeah, we are going hero running back here. It's just what the room is giving us. I mean, Derrick Henry falling here, that's huge. And then JSN, Devontae, McLaurin, I mean, really 4 stud wide receivers, definitely 3. I would say Terry still has some in the tank, though. I mean, those are 4 elite wide receivers right there. JSN, Devontae now being the number 1 target in Philly. McLaurin. I mean, ideally here, Jaden Daniels will fall a couple picks past ADP. Let's check this out real quick. I'm picking at 69 and 76 next. Okay. So if we sort by ADP here, Jaden Daniels, ADP 66.9. And then, all right, so Jaden Daniels, 66.9. He could drop a couple. I've seen him drop in a few. And then Jalen Hurts, 70. So we're getting one of them. I think that Jaden Daniels right now is just super undervalued. And I mean, last year Allen, Lamar, and Jaden Daniels were staples of the third round. Now this year, quarterback is just wonky this year. I mean, well, Allen actually, this draft is kind of crazy, but generally it's Josh Allen, and then a couple rounds later you get Lamar and the other quarterbacks start to go. But I mean, you get guys like Drake May, Jaden Daniels much later in drafts than what the quarterback market was last year. So my last handful of drafts, out of my last 5 drafts, I think I've taken Jaden Daniels 3 or 4 times. I didn't have much of him yet, and I'm not a huge fan of. Hold on, let's see here, please. Come on. Nice. All right. So we got Jaden Daniels there, stacked with Terry McLaurin, 3 picks past ADP, ranked 57. Another complete no-brainer. Nice. Okay. And the other thing now, too, with having Jaden Daniels is I don't have to panic at quarterback because the quarterback runs this year have been just wild. I mean, this right around here, around 6, 7, 8, all the quarterbacks just start going off the board. What are we doing here? 76. Okay, let's try to maybe get some nice running back ADP value. I mean, we have 4 studs at wide receiver. I think this next pick is probably running back. Let's just see what we got available. Pollard probably would have been the pick. Ramondre Dowdle. I am going to say, guess we'll just take our medicine here. Take some Ramondre. Don't love it, but don't hate it, I guess, either. Ramondre is just kind of a boring pick. I mean, my eyeballs tell me that Henderson is just the dude on that team, but the boomer, old school coaching staff with Vrabel and McDaniels they just refuse. I mean, they refuse to let this young, talented stud take over because they trust Ramondre Stevenson. He got all the work in the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know. Barring an injury, I still think Hendo is another, I don't know, year or so away. All right, let's take some stock here. We got a 1, 2, 4 build going right now. I like the team. I do. We got our main stack going. So now another thing I want to do is just take a peek at the Week 17 matchup for Washington, since that's my main stack. Jacksonville. They play Jacksonville. So keep that in the back of my mind. That's a good tiebreaker. Like I said, New England, who do they have? New England is playing Denver. Okay. Pretty balanced build, I would say. We went elite QB, but got him at a good price. Definitely not lacking at wide receiver. I mean, this might even be a 6 wide receiver team. We'll see. Okay, what do we got? Pick 93. So we're looking at Jacoby Myers is around there. That might not be that is correlation with Commanders for Week 17. There's not many great running backs in this range. I just don't. Holmes goes. By rank, it's Myers, ADP, Nungai. You know what? I'm going to take the shot on Jacoby Myers. We're going heavy wide receiver here, man. All right, let me see, just mark this down. Devontae, 11. Myers, 7. Okay, so we got some week 17 correlation there. Now, this next pick, what are we at? 100. So my ADP, Monungai. Oof. Monungai or Fannin? Fannin's ranked higher. I'm going to go Monungai. It's good value there. Let's see. ADP 91, pick 100. I mean, 9, technically 8.5 picks past ADP. I like Fannin. Would have been nice to have solid tight end there, but I don't know, man. The tight ends you can get late in drafts, I'm pretty comfortable with. And Monungai is not, like, ETR has him ranked lower than his ADP. I get it. Swift is the guy there. But on a high-powered offense, he has standalone value himself. And if Swift were to miss any kind of time, I mean, Monungai would be an absolute smash. Now, on a team with Derrick Henry, you know, that's our workhorse. That's my workhorse on this team right here is Derrick Henry. I'm relying on him hitting my lineup more weeks than not. Ramondre, I think I don't mind the Monungai pick, but I think at running back, we're going to want some upside swings here. So, I see a good one if he's still there. What are we picking at? 117. He's not going to be there. I was going to say Jonathan Brooks. That would be a perfect upside swing. But I'm going to say, actually, where is ADP? Jonathan Brooks. So I'm going to hit the star. I'm going to cue Jonathan Brooks up. If he's still there, that's an easy pick. Chris Rodriguez, another Jacksonville. It's not exactly a upside swing, but damn it. Pick right before us. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, well, might go with a team stack here. Just build out this Washington bet a little more with some upside. Yeah, we're going to do that and take Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I don't know. I didn't love what I saw from him last year, but we're just building out this Washington bet a little more. Don't love that pick, but could be some upside there. I don't think we've seen everything from JCM yet. 124. Might be able to get Chris Rodriguez too here, actually. I wouldn't mind doing that. Tacking him on another Jack. I mean, that's a huge week 17 correlation bet right there. We're really going all out on that game. But they're good picks too. It's not just because of the week 17 and he goes too. So figured, okay, so I'm going to take tight end here. A little ahead of ADP, not much, but yeah, I'm going to go Kincaid. So as you can see, my username is Bill's Mob 89. I am from Buffalo. I like, unlike most Buffalo fans, I am not a homer when it comes to fantasy sports of any kind. I mean, I do not let my fandom dictate my picks whatsoever. I try to do this from a logical perspective, and I think Bills fans are by far some of the most delusional NFL fans of any, for sure. But when I'm doing things like this or playing on DraftKings or whatever, if anything, I mean, I've made money betting against the Bills in playoffs and stuff when Mahomes is coming into our house and we're favored and people just think it's a cakewalk to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to take the Chiefs money line. You're giving Mahomes points, and it's pretty. I did the same thing with the Bengals when we lost to them a few years ago. It's just love the Bills, man, but I'm not going to let my fandom impact my fantasy picks. And it's the worst thing ever is betting on your home team and they lose. So now you're pissed off that your team lost and you lost money. At least when I've bet against them and they've lost, at least my bank account has a few more bucks in it. But I mean, anyways, getting back to Kincaid, I do think he is a pretty smash pick. I mean, he's going around washed up Andrews, boring Jake Ferguson, Isaiah Likely on the Giants. Who knows? I just think he's a smash pick there. There's not too much other. You got Diggs in round 11. Who knows if he's even going to be playing football? Okay. All my Keaton Mitchell was on my radar there. He's sniped like crazy. We got another no-brainer pick if he doesn't get sniped too. Sam Darnold as my second QB. Yep. We got JSN. That's just another no-brainer pick. Different bye weeks. Make sure of that. That's another thing. Another reason why I want to get the solver to kind of help with overlapping bye weeks, week 17 correlation, all this stuff we've been talking about. The solver just kind of makes that easier. So I'm going to get that and install it and kind of use it a few times before I actually stream with it. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of doing everything old school on paper. Man, Woody Marks, all these running. See that this is frustrating. Okay, well, I think this is an ugly range, man. You know what? I started Juwan Jennings. Yeah, that's kind of a misstep there. In hindsight, I would have probably preferred Denzel Boston there. Just an upside rookie swing. I mean, Juwan Jennings, definitely don't love that. Kind of fumbled that pick. But this is my first time streaming a draft, so I'm still kind of getting used to this. I'm still selecting the picks on my phone here. But you know, the goal of all this is to get better, man. You know, I want to either myself or someone that I know and I'm close to, you know, place highly, if not win, take down one of these contests, man. I mean, some of these, like even a puppy, you win 100K. I mean, that's life-changing money from drafting a fake football team. Pretty cool to me, you know? So that's the goal, man, is to get better. Keep doing these drafts, keep getting the reps in. So I'm sure he'll get sniped. Yeah, as I'm saying that, Tyjae Spears goes. I was going to say Tyjae Spears. It's a great value in this range. Man, thank God we got Derrick Henry because we're getting down to essentially just contingent backs at this point. Denzel Boston may actually still be available. I'm going to star him. If not Boston, ugh, man, this range is ugly for running back. Okay, and that guy goes Brian Robinson. So we do get Boston there. Let's see, 160. What's the value on him? 165. Little ADP slide there. Okay, so I'm not as mad about that Juwan Jennings pick now that I got Denzel Boston as well. And so that puts us at 7 wide receivers. Okay. Now we're gonna need some running backs here. We got 4 picks left. Now, with the team we have so far at the 1Z position, hold on, let me make this pick real quick. I'm targeting either Tank Bigsby, who's purely contingent, or Emmanuel Wilson. You know what? I'm gonna go Bigsby here. So actually, there is some correlation. Okay, I forgot. I have Devontae Smith. Okay, so normally I've done this multiple times where I have JSN, I tack on Darnold, and I love Price. Where's Price going? 4th round. I got to figure out how to get this board expanded. Price. Okay, 5th round. I like Price for sure. Not a horrible price on him either, no pun intended. But I've been taking a lot of Emmanuel Wilson here in round 15. I think he still hasn't gone. Yeah, he's still on the board. Actually, oh, wait, I was looking, I had it sorted by rank. So Emmanuel Wilson ETR has him ranked at 166. His ADP is 193.9. I'm going to star him up there. We got a chance at getting him. I mean, knowing this room, a lot of people went wide receiver heavy to start. So now later on in the draft, all these running backs are just flying off the board. I haven't seen a draft like this in a while. Normally this year, the meta has been just super running back heavy. Okay, we're doing some more correlation here. We got Emmanuel Wilson still on the board. And if not, we got Katron Allen. Yeah, we got him. Okay. Emmanuel Wilson, rank 166, ADP 193 at pick 189. Love it. Okay. So now, next pick. Now, these backs are Emmanuel Wilson. I mean, he could get more playing time than people think, personally. I believe that. And, Price is a rookie, starts off slow. You really want guys that are going to be scoring in the playoffs, but some early season production is required too. So, man, tight ends are really getting ugly here. But you know what? I think we just make the bet that, yeah, I'm going to tack on Katron Allen here just as in an upside swing at running back. So, okay, we got one pick left. 2771. This is a unique build for me personally. It's almost, well, it reminds me of a zero RB team, only we got Derrick Henry. So it's hero RB. So normally if you're zero RB is when you're not, there's not a specific rule of, they used to say like no running backs until the 8th round or whatever. Well, now running backs have been pushed up. I actually think this is a great year for zero running back. So let's see what this guy did here. Tucker, he went Chase, AJ Brown, T. Higgins. Well, so he took Henderson in the 4th. Really, what you want to do with zero RB is you load up on wide receivers and the onesie positions, either 3-4 wide receivers and your quarterback, or 3-4 wide receivers and Trey McBride, or you get an elite tight end and a quarterback, maybe 5th round quarterback or something. And then you just take a ton of stabs at running back later in the draft, much less draft capital, but you're drafting more of them, maybe 7, 8, 9 running backs super late. And just basically betting on chaos, saying that, so I got one pick left here. I'm just trying to kind of star up some tight ends. It's disgusting at this point, but really the bet that I made is just that Kincaid, takes a big step this year, is a much bigger part of the offense, and I don't really need 3 tight ends. Guess could have taken one there, but I like that Bigsby, Emmanuel Wilson double tap, and then the Katron Allen. He's a guy who I don't really want to take until you hear some kind of more information on through training camp. All right, I'm going to tack on Evan Engram here. You got some. There's it. Okay. All right, you got some week 17 correlation there with New England. I mean, last pick in the last round of the draft, Evan Engram. Could do worse. All right, so now let's go over this draft real quick here as soon as this guy makes the last pick. And some of the names in this last round, like DJ Giddens, like, is he even going to see the field? Jacoby Brissett. I'm not drafting Jacoby. This guy took Tua and Brissett. There's a good chance neither of those dudes are playing come weeks 15 through 17. I mean, oh, that's ugly. But let's see what his first. Well, yeah, CJ Stroud, I guess. No, he's got Lamar Jackson. So that's completely pointless. Totally useless. I guess he drafted 2. First of all, you don't even need 3 quarterbacks with Lamar. You can to try to sneak him in. If maybe Lamar Jackson has a dud in week 15, you got a 3rd quarterback out to kind of sneak Lamar in and then have him at low ownership in week 16 and 17. But, here he took Lamar and Stroud. That is a good enough quarterback room in itself. And then he tacked on Tua and Brissett. Man, that's okay. I guess he really wanted his 3rd quarterback, and he figured, hey, if I take between Tua and Brissett, hopefully there's one starting quarterback in there somewhere. I guess maybe that was his mindset. But anyway, just trying to point out things that drafters are doing that, trying to get better. So let's look at this team here. What do we wind up with? 2-7-7-2. Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold. Kind of a wild running back room here. Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, Kyle Monangai, JCM, Bigsby, Emmanuel Wilson, Katron Allen. The Katron Allen pick, I guess I'll finish my team. JSN, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Juwan Jennings, Denzel Boston. And then you got Kincaid and Ingram. Pretty weak tight end room, but all I need is for Kincaid to go off, and I won't need Ingram score that much. Okay, getting back to the Katron Allen here. Let's see what was that range for tight end was just really getting gross. You could take a shot on Stowers. I like Gunnar Helm. He was gone. Let's see. Dulcich, Gesicki. I guess I could have went Dulcich in hopes that he's the number one pass catcher on Miami. But I don't know. I wasn't feeling Freiermuth. You can nitpick it, but really, if the bet on this team is just that Kincaid takes a giant leap forward. Obviously the Bills' offense is elite, and just getting his score filling the onesie position at tight end more often than not. So not a horrible team. Kind of a wonky running back room, like I said, but I do like the 2-2 move at onesies once in a while. Especially on this team, if Evan Ingram is a little more involved in the offense than what people want to give him credit for, and he could easily pay off his draft price in the 18th round pick here. But more often than not, most people are taking 3 tight ends and 3 quarterbacks. So I generally do 2 of one, 3 of the other. Just because on underdog, you only have on DraftKings, you want to do 3 and 3. That's fine. You got 20 rounds. That's 2 extra picks. But here on underdog with 18 rounds, I don't know, man. That's for, if you were to, hit on, if Jaden Daniels is a smash and Kincaid's a smash, then I got to back up for each of them and cover the bye weeks. And that gives me Denzel Boston here. If that dude is a rookie and he's, takes over and Cleveland is the number 1 pass catcher. And, it's just, I got an extra running back and an extra wide receiver, at least one. Katron Allen. Between these, let's see, Derrick Henry and Ramondre. Okay, between these 4, I guess, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt Bigsby, Emmanuel Wilson, and Katron Allen, easily 2 of them could smash. Saquon misses some time. Bigsby is a plug-and-play RB, maybe 1, definitely good projecting RB2. Emmanuel Wilson, very unclear situation. I like to attack unclear backfields. Like last year, it was Jacksonville. Nobody knew who was starting. And Dallas was the big one last year, actually, with Javonte Williams. They drafted Jaden Blue. Miles Sanders was getting drafted in best ball. And it turns out Javonte was just that dude. And, he was going pretty late in drafts. But so, Price, like we were talking about, is super expensive. But Emmanuel Wilson could easily see, if Price were to miss time, you got Charbonnet coming back, but I don't know. At pick 189, he doesn't have to do that much. In this Katron Allen dude, so actually, I'm just now realizing this, but it's okay because I do make teams like this, but it's just funny in talking it through. I didn't even realize at the time, but Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt, and Katron Allen both on Washington, so that's fine. I got more of a team bet on Washington, and with both of them being cheap, that's just hilarious. I didn't even realize this till right now. But still getting used to some of these rookies and where they are and what their role is going to be. But anyways, I don't mind that at all. You got pick 117 and pick 196, 2 running backs from the Commanders. One of them more than likely will pay off that draft capital there. So, All right. So that's my first underdog draft. And we'll be back on here with some more soon. Peace out.